Hi hearties, welcome back to Teacup Trail. We are on episode 11 of season 8. I do want to mention 3 moments of Lucas starting to freak out, starting to worry about Elizabeth and Nathan. The first one was at the end of the episode 10. He saw Nathan and Elizabeth walking out of the wedding party early in the night. And the second one was Lucas seeing them outside the window of the wedding reception, and Nathan was holding Elizabeth's hands, both hands. And the third now is that he drove over to Elizabeth's house in the morning and realizing that Nathan's horse is outside her house. And I do want to add in though, he could have knocked on her door, he could have invaded their privacy, he could have interrupted their private conversation, right? I mean, anything could happen, right? But instead he not only worries about his relationship with Elizabeth, but he respected the privacy, the boundary of Nathan and Elizabeth having a conversation, knowing that he might lose Elizabeth because of Nathan.
Good for you.
Is this?
It's Florence's bridal bouquet. Yeah, she wanted you to have them.
I just can't avoid these, can I?
If you remember, Nathan and Lucas each gave their own bouquet to Elizabeth, and Nathan bringing this bouquet to her house in the morning, she's like, "You giving me flowers again? Like, I'm not interested in you like that." And Nathan is like, this is for you. Florence bridal bouquet, she wanted you to have it. And it's really funny though, because she's a single woman. I mean, she's been seeing Lucas, but it hasn't been really official in the public eye yet, in the public community of Hope Valley. So everyone is like, giving Elizabeth the bridal bouquet, cheering her on that she'll be the next one to date and to settle down and get married again with a new man. And that's why Elizabeth, like, I cannot avoid these things. Like, Faith is like pushing me into that direction of being in a relationship again with a man that is not Jack. It's like her destiny, to fall in love again.
Can't find my gloves.
Oh, I might have an old pair of Jack's if you'd like me to look.
No, it's fine. I'll be fine after I warm up.
Then while we're waiting on the kettle, why don't you take off your search?
Huh?
So I can warm it up for you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
I thought it was a bit interesting because you can see that Elizabeth still keeps some of Jack's things from his job, which is his Mountie gloves. And Nathan, even though he is a Mountie, he probably could have borrowed it, but he respected that it's Jack's gloves and he just doesn't want to mix himself with Jack because they have had the same occupation, and Nathan is kind of like the replacement of Jack, but not entirely. So Nathan like, no, I don't want to touch your dead husband stuff. That's his, that's yours. I don't want to cross the line. And Elizabeth, she meant it well. She's like, take off your shirt, and Nathan was just like, what? Like it was kind of like out of the blue, unexpected for Nathan to hear that from her.
How did you come to have this?
Well, you left the wedding early, and Florence forgot to throw the bouquet. So, on her way out of town, she asked me to give them to you.
Thank you.
I think she wanted to make sure that Nathan is not having an impure intention behind it. What I tried to say is that, she hoping that Nathan is not trying to win her heart again by giving her another set of flowers. She didn't want to have any romantic intention behind it.
Isn't Florence due home today from her honeymoon?
Yes. I forgot to give them to you. I remembered when I saw her at the Mercantile.
I used to do this for Jack on chilly mornings.
Elizabeth opened up a bit, remembering the moments she had with Jack, warming up his jacket, and Nathan looked over with a humble smile and just enjoying Elizabeth sharing that with him.
That was very nice of Florence. It's a beautiful bouquet.
Yeah, it is. I guess she thought that you were the next one to be married.
This is probably ready now.
Yeah,
I just realized now it's like going back and forth. Jack, flowers, Jack, flowers. I think Elizabeth didn't have anything else to say, or she didn't know what to say next. She tried not to feel awkward in this moment, and she just complimented about the flowers that she got from Florence. And of course, Nathan added in, she thought that you would be the next one to get married, and that's pressure. And Elizabeth doesn't need that pressure, but at the same time, the way she looked over to Nathan, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna get married to you next. Don't even think about it. I'm not interested in you like that. Nathan still thinks that he still have a chance with Elizabeth by the way he said that, the way he looked at her in the scene. Elizabeth, of course, changed the subject and again, and said that the jacket is warmed up, and Nathan yeah, okay, I'm not gonna make this any more awkward. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, this feels better.
Hearing moment from Elizabeth, knowing that Nathan was cold and offered him to warm up, but the conversation, it turned into some intense atmosphere between the two, and Elizabeth not trying to show any mixed signal to Nathan. She's trying not to be romantically close to him, even though Nathan still wants to date her. But at the same time, it's about Jack and the flashback of Jack in the back of her mind, and having another Mountie in her house that is not Jack is something that she is still working on. And I think from this scene, it's she's still processing the idea that there is no more Jack. Nathan is now the Mountie of Hope Valley, and Nathan does remind her of Jack. Unfortunately, I mean, it is what it is, but she, in the process of accepting that Nathan is not Jack, even though Nathan had the same job as Jack did, Nathan is a whole different man than Jack was, and Elizabeth needs to learn how to just separate the two men. Nathan is not Jack, Jack is not Nathan, and it's just that mentality is you're Nathan Grant, you're not Jack. She just needs to get rid of those, the heartbreak of remembering Jack because of Nathan. It's Nathan brings her flashback of Jack, and it brings all kinds of emotion, and she's almost there. She almost to the point in her life where she is letting go of Jack completely. I hope that makes sense.
Are you sure you don't want to take a break? Have lunch with me?
I can't, Lucas. I'm sorry.
Here, allow me.
Lucas, being a great friend that he is to Elizabeth, he's still here for her and even offered to take her out for lunch. Just trying to be there, be supportive, and just to make sure that she is okay. Elizabeth, she does seem busy in that scene at school. She did say, "I'm sorry," and I truly believe that she said that from the bottom of her heart. Even though she rejected the lunch offer with Lucas still be there as a friend and helped her. It's the little things, the little things that Lucas does for Elizabeth.
I'm not very good company right now. I'm sorry.
You're working, I understand. I thought I'd come by on a whim.
Elizabeth apologized again. It shows that she really did not reject his lunch offer in a mean, rude way. She really wished that she could hang out with Lucas over lunch. She's still interested in him. It's just she's not in the right place in her mind right now. And her looking over to Nathan on the horseback is like my first thought, like, oh boy, here we go. So she probably thinking about her moment with Nathan early in the morning while she was warming up a jacket and how Nathan brought back memories of Jack, and Jack is actually one of the roadblocks in her relationship with Lucas. The foreplay secret is like out of the picture now. I think right now the biggest battle that she's facing is letting go of Jack. She still wears her wedding ring, so it's a sign, it's a symbol that she really needs to let go of Jack, let go of the past, and fully embrace the future with Lucas.
Lucas, the reason I left the wedding early, I asked Nathan if he would step outside with me so I could tell him that I don't blame him for Jack's death.
Why didn't you come back inside after? I had no intention of bringing this up.
Lucas saw what she was seeing, so Lucas is not in a good place right now too. Like, while having a dog about what's really going on, he's losing confidence, he's losing hope that Elizabeth might change her mind and go with Nathan instead of him. You can see the look on Lucas' face. He's just like feeling really sad about it.
He didn't even say goodbye.
I don't know why Nathan and I...
He's back. The school inspector.
I'll let you two talk. Benny?
Shout out to Hattie Briggs. I hope I pronounced your full name right. She asked me a question a while back on YouTube, and I kept thinking about it in the back of my mind because I really want to talk about it in relation to this episode, and finally we are here. She said, I am wondering what you think the reason was that Elizabeth left the wedding early. She was about to tell Lucas, but they were interrupted by Minnie. He was hurt that she didn't even say goodbye. Great question. I have no idea. It's like one of the mysteries, like what did Lucas give to Allie for the adoption ceremony, right? We don't know what inside that box yet. I hope we find out in season 9. It's a great question. I think my best guess is that when Nathan held her hands, I think it was a moment of like not only thanking her, but Nathan was about to say something, and I think by Nathan holding her hands, I think it gave her like some, I don't know what to say, adrenaline? I don't know if that makes sense. Like, oh boy, he's holding my hands, he's about to say his speech and how he feels. I think Elizabeth was just like in the moment of like be in a intense conversation with someone. Like it was a very important conversation for her to have with Nathan. It was something that she needed to deal with it and take care of it and just be done with it. And I think she was overwhelmed, and I think she's still in that place in her mind of just like trying to process the forgiveness for Nathan, and at the same time trying to move on from Jack, move on from her past with Jack, and trying to look forward to the future with Lucas. After that conversation, she just needed a timeout. Like she just wanted to go home and it's just like have that space alone from everyone else, and just like have her have a moment to herself just to like fully process of what just happened.
I wanted to tell you earlier just how much it means to me what you said at the wedding. You don't blame me for Jack's death.
Well, I'm glad. And I hope we're able to put this behind us.
This scene to me is just like a pure friendship. We do have a connection, not a romantic one. The connection is over Allie, the connection is over the Mountie life, and I think it would be really nice to see Elizabeth give a dating advice, a pep talk to Nathan when Nathan finds someone for himself, you know, because Elizabeth knows what it's like to be a Mountie girlfriend and wife, and if Nathan finds someone, he does have a friend in Elizabeth, and Elizabeth can give him a pep talk. I think that would be a cool idea.
Oh, look, I found my gloves. Luke.
And Lucas, he's watching them, and I feel so bad for him. And he's reading it all wrong, and yeah, oh, poor Lucas.
I'm sorry for stopping by so late.
Please come in.
Elizabeth, you've always maintained that love is worth fighting for. And that includes when it needs defending.
Lucas, come in.
Allow me to finish. Please.
She is surprised. She offered to have him come inside the house. If you remember, Lucas never stepped inside her house. And he's really serious. He's like, let's just get straight to the point. Just allow me to release my feelings and my thoughts about my relationship with you, Elizabeth. He was a little bit rude, like a little bit like tough, a bit harsh to her, because he really didn't want her to interrupt his speech to her, what he wanted to say to her. He did say please, and it's just like trying to not to disrespect her, like, you know, please allow me to talk. It just really shows that he really want to say these things to Elizabeth, and he's been hiding them for quite a while now, and he watches what's going on between her and Nathan in front of him, in front of his eyes, and he's just like, oh my god, like what's really going on? And Nathan already told Elizabeth that he loves her twice now, so Lucas just like, I haven't even really like say what I want to say to this girl that I really like, and this is the opportunity.
I appreciate your telling me that you took Nathan aside to assure him he wasn't to blame for Jack's death. But I have to admit, I witnessed the discussion. I also noticed his horse here the other day.
That automatically gave a signal to Elizabeth like, oh boy, I hope he did not read it wrong. I hope he didn't assume that I'm with Nathan now, or I'm going to pick Nathan officially as my boyfriend. So you can see Elizabeth's reaction like, no, like I've been sending mixed signal to Lucas, that's not good.
And while I'm not resentful from what I've seen and from what you've told me, I believe that you and Nathan still...
Lucas.
Like, definitely showed that Lucas is reading it all wrong, and he's just being honest, and he's not doing this out of like arrogant. He's not competing against Nathan. He's just laying it all down of how he feels and what his assumptions are by seeing what happened between Nathan and Elizabeth in front of him. So it's just like, it's honesty signaled and ASAP, Elizabeth needs to fix it right now with Lucas.
Lucas.
Love is not just an emotion. It's also an act of will. It can't be demanded. It can't be forced. I want you to find your true love.
As I was thinking, Nathan forcing it, Nathan is demanding it from Elizabeth, but I'm like, you are the definition of true love, Lucas, for Elizabeth. And he mentioned earlier in the scene, love is worth fighting for. Is that what Elizabeth believes and what she should be doing right now with Lucas, but she's not? Is Lucas giving up on Elizabeth in this moment? I think he is not giving up on her 100%. I think he is fighting for his chance, his opportunity to be with her. And in order to do that, one of the things he needs to do is actually tell her how he feels, but she's not gonna know, right, until he tells her. But at the same time, Elizabeth needs to do her part. She needs to fight for her relationship with Lucas. It goes both ways, two-way street. So he is not giving up. I think this is like the last wake-up call from Lucas to Elizabeth, and we will see if Elizabeth wakes up, and finally realize, you need to fix this with Lucas, if you want Lucas, if you truly love Lucas, you need to fight back, fight together with him and make it work.
And in order to do that, I need to set you free.
If you want to be with Nathan, like, be with Nathan. Like, I don't want to be the guy that holding you back from what you want in life, whether it's like a relationship or anything. Like, I don't want to be a friend that forces you, demands you to not date someone that you want to date. And it's just like Elizabeth just had this shock. I don't think it's like a shock of I am free now. I think it was a shock of like, wait, I'm losing Lucas? Like, wait, this should not be happening. Even though she admires and respects and listens to what he had to say to her, she's starting to realize that she is doing something wrong in her relationship with Lucas, and if she wants him, she need to wake up and tell him how she feels and make a move, because love is worth fighting for, and if she believes that, she should act on it. Like, don't say something if you don't do it. I will see you soon, most likely next week, hopefully, if not by the end of this month. I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm gonna miss talking to you and talking about these episodes, but I'll be back sometime in March and go over the beautiful journey of the new couple, which I'm not gonna say until the end of episode 12. Bye.